The main reason why I would like to do this podcast is I think conversation is really important.
Yeah.
Like, for instance, I think we have a really good relationship because we can talk about things. Like, I can go to you and I can say virtually anything without having any inhibition.
Right.
And for the most part, comfortably express myself to you and know that I'm going to get valuable criticism and feedback. And I wish I could have that with more people than not. Like, it would be unrealistic to say that you can have that with everybody. But I think there's definitely opportunity for us to get to a world where maybe it's not everybody you pass on the street, where there's not as much social judgment.
Yeah.
But where we can come to a better understanding of what a healthier conversation would be like. And I feel like we have really healthy conversation.
Yeah. What do you think that holds it back or hold you back from having these conversations with anybody? Like, what do you think stops you, I guess?
In general, or me personally?
Just in general. Like why can't people speak without judgment?
Oh, well, there's a huge wall. I mean, being judged is hard.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's hard to... Yeah, that's a weird question.
Like, do you think it's more you that you're worried about? Or do you think or you're more worried about the other person?
Well, I think reputation is big.
Just how that you're perceived?
Yeah, exactly. So, like, I don't know, there's a few instances, like, I guess if you're meeting a new person...
Yeah.
Or if you're talking to a close friend, like, there's a few things. So, like, let's just say you're meeting a person.
Yeah. Done.
There's impression, right? Like, there's so many things to unpack with that. Like, let's say I meet somebody for the first time.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm insecure and I want them to think something of me, so I'm going to talk in a certain way. So for me being the speaker, like, there's already impediment there, right? And then being the person spoken to, like, are you even listening? Because, you know, when you talk to people and you're like, oh, how's your day? How you doing? What have you been up to? But you're not really listening.
Yeah, like, cool.
You're just looking for cues. You're never going to catch up after.
Yeah.
And then, like, on the other side, where you're catching up with friends or, like, just friends you've already established relationships with, if you're not the closest, I mean, even if you are close, sometimes you don't have that opportunity to just open up with people.
Right.
You know, like, I'm sure we can both agree, like, we have friends where it's just like we're friends and we have fun and we see each other a lot.
But that's the major point, is having fun.
Yeah.
That's not.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I think, I don't know, I'm really into the political stuff that's going on. Not that I'm a professional by any means, but, you know,
politician, as they say.
Political professional.
Politically inclined, yeah.
But, yeah, I just think, you know what? Why the fuck not? I think this is cool. I like talking. I like talking to people. And I think it's just important to have healthy conversation, have idea sex.
Yeah, I find lately, just because I don't interact with as many people as I used to, like, just on a daily basis, like, even like going to stores or restaurants or whatever. When I do go into a store, like last week I went to, a couple of motorcycle dealerships and then talked to the salespeople there. And I really struggled to, or maybe I didn't actually struggle. I felt like I was struggling to maintain, like, a normal conversation. Like, I felt like I was, like, just, I was very worried about what I was saying, and it just, like, it made me stumble a lot. And, it was a weird feeling. Like, I've never really had that. So
it's uncomfortable.
It is uncomfortable. But I think I think it's just like everything. Like, you have to surround yourself with it, like, with, not like intimate conversation, but just conversation, you know, like, you just have to be more comfortable talking to strangers.
Yeah. I think another important point to make too, like, when you're talking to strangers, because I think you can get to a place where you're comfortable talking to strangers and people with kind of a mask on. Like we were talking about this before, where like you're being social and you're talking to people, but like everything is a joke, or
Right.
you're maintaining the flow of a conversation, but you're not really saying anything. And like I know I've done that a lot, and
Yeah.
you were saying that you do that too.
Yeah, I'd say most of my conversations, like even with like close enough friends, I'll just either be sarcastic or just like really most of the stuff that I add to it is just to make people laugh. And I mean, like I don't think that's a bad thing. It's just it's hard to develop a connection.
Yeah, that's a good. Yeah, that I think that's important to say too, because I don't think it's a bad thing. Because it's not like every conversation you have has to be valuable.
No.
And you know, in an out social setting, it's really nice to be able to make people laugh,
Right.
and like to have somebody like that. But I think what is lacking is just the ability to sit down and be like, hey, there's something uncomfortable that I'm thinking of, or like, hey, we disagree, let's talk about it, or
Yeah.
like, hey, what's your opinion on this? So long story short, that is why I want to do this.
Right. Yeah.